Friday evening, 6 o'clock. The most scrutinized life in human history has just ended in public, violent execution. The man who commanded crowds is now motionless. The surviving followers face a brutal deadline. The Sabbath begins at sundown, leaving them minutes to act. They wrap the body in 75 pounds of heavy myrrh and aloes, an urgent chemical barrier to slow the inevitable decay of flesh. The burial site itself offers no escape. The body is placed deep inside a fresh, solid limestone cave, a geographic trap cut directly into the earth. There are no royal processions or long eulogies. This is a panicked, frantic operation to bury a crushed hope before darkness covers Jerusalem. Inside the city, the disciples lock themselves in an upper room. The men who spent 3 years walking on water and feeding thousands are now completely paralyzed by trauma. But the authorities who ordered the execution are equally anxious, recognizing a lingering threat. A dead martyr is a nuisance, but a rumor of resurrection is a direct threat to the stability of the empire. Rome takes no chances. Pilate deploys a detachment of elite, heavily armed legionaries to the garden. They press the emperor's official wax seal over the cord binding the heavy stone. Breaking that seal means an automatic death sentence. The trap is perfectly set. The absolute laws of human biology, the solid rock of the earth, and the military might of Rome all dictate the exact same reality. The story is over. Then comes the Great Saturday. For 24 hours, an unprecedented silence falls over the region. The voice that claimed to have created the universe is completely quiet. On the surface, the mundane world grinds to a halt for the Sabbath. Mary Magdalene sits paralyzed in her grief. Outside the tomb, elite soldiers sharpen their blades, thoroughly bored by a routine guard detail. Yet ancient traditions describe a radically different reality playing out beneath the surface. They record the harrowing of hell, a localized spiritual invasion breaching the confines of the afterlife. The total stillness of Saturday on Earth is deceiving. It is an agonizing, cosmic countdown to an anomaly. Sunday, midnight. Deep inside the sealed tomb, the temperature begins to rise. The heat is not coming from the air, but from the circulatory system of the body itself. In this isolated space, biological entropy stops entirely. Then, gravity begins to fail. The heavy layers of myrrh and aloe lift fractions of an inch off the woven shroud. This photographic evidence captures the result of what happens next. A microscopic, blinding flash of intense radiation erupts, scorching the three-dimensional imprint of a human face directly into the linen fibers. Cellular life returns with a violent rush. A dead heart thumps against a ribcage. Rigid lungs expand, pulling in a massive, gasping breath of air. The kinetic energy breaches the tomb. A sudden subterranean earthquake fractures the bedrock. A blinding messenger hits the garden, and the elite Roman killers drop to the dirt, paralyzed by sheer primal panic. The 2-ton stone is tossed up the incline. Inside, the heavy grave clothes are left behind, neatly folded, providing absolute forensic proof of a vacancy. In a matter of seconds, the absolute laws of physics, the decay of biology, and the unyielding authority of the Roman Empire shatter simultaneously in a private garden. Mary Magdalene and Peter return to the garden expecting a body. Instead, they find the silence of Friday has been replaced by an inexplicable vacancy. The paralyzing grief of the past 48 hours is overtaken by the first confusing pulses of hope. When he appears to them, he defies every expectation of a spirit. He is solid. His skin is warm to the touch. He sits at a table and eats broiled fish with them. He still carries the brutal wounds of the crucifixion on his hands and side. These scars are visible proof of the physical journey he took through death. This experience transforms the behavior of the survivors. Men who were huddled behind locked doors 3 days ago now walk into the public squares of Jerusalem, choosing the risk of execution over the safety of silence. The kinetic energy of that Sunday morning ripples outward. The Roman Empire that signed the execution order crumbled to dust, while the movement born in the empty tomb outlasted it. This new certainty about life after death shifted the value of the individual. Because life was seen as having eternal significance, believers built the world's first networks of universal care, eventually forming the foundations of our modern hospitals and legal protections for the vulnerable. Biological death lost its absolute authority. Because the stone moved, every human grave on Earth was demoted to a temporary waiting room. The history is recorded. The tomb remains empty. The choice of what to do with that Sunday morning is yours.